Hey everyone, welcome back. We have the HobbyZone Sport Cub S2 here on the table. We're going to go ahead and get this thing ready to go. It is the ready to fly model, but there's a few things you need to do to get it ready to fly once you get out of the box. Thankfully, these are really easy steps. The first step is just go ahead and put batteries in the Spectrum transmitter here. And the batteries actually even come with the ready to fly model. So there's really nothing else you need to buy once you go ahead and get this out of the box. Okay, let's go ahead and get these put in. All right, so it's already pre-bound from the factory. So we're gonna go ahead and turn it to the on position. So we got the green LED on there. It just went to blue. These colors will change based on the battery voltage. This aircraft does have the ability to have telemetry. So you're gonna wanna pay attention to that. The battery has not been fully charged. We just got it out of the box here. So we're not gonna fly the airplane. We're just gonna turn it on and power it up, make sure everything works. But you wanna make sure before your very first flight, you need to charge your battery beforehand. So we're not gonna fly, we're just gonna plug it in. So let's go ahead and do that. Now for this, you wanna make sure that your hands are well clear of the prop and the throttle is all the way in the down position here on the transmitter. I'm just gonna go ahead, the plug hangs out the, you can see here, there's just a small plug that hangs out the bottom of the fuselage here. Let's go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna move my hands around the side here. All right, there we go. It is powered up. We got some LED lights going on inside the fuselage. We got a little bit of control surface movement here as it's starting to come to life. We got a green light that just illuminated on top of the transmitter here. And let's go ahead and let's just do a surface check here. I'm gonna go ahead, of course, stay away from the prop. I'm gonna hold the throttle in the down position just because I don't want to bump the prop. There we go, look at that. We have aileron movement, elevator, and we have rudder. So we can go ahead and change over the position here a little bit to, let's just try the other safe modes out here. There we go. Go ahead and put the battery in the furthest forward position. The Velcro will hold it in place. There we go. I actually added a strip of tape underneath here on my original one, just to make sure that the battery stays in there, because I didn't want to lose one in flight. So we'll go ahead and set that back down, shall we? And let's go ahead and advance the throttle. There we go. Throttle works, and of course, once you cross over 25% throttle, AS3X is now active. So you can hear it moving the surfaces around. The servos are all doing the little dance. You can check that all out here. And if you look, when I move the airplane quite a bit, it really tries to center itself back out again, and that is safe actually coming into play there. So let's go ahead and move this to the 0 position. See, watch. That's safe, fully engaged. Watch the ailerons here. See how they counteract? What they're doing is they're self-leveling out the aircraft here. You see the same with the elevator as well. Now in advanced mode, watch what happens to the ailerons when I move the aircraft. They move a little bit, but nothing like what you saw in beginner mode, and that's because safe is in the off position at that point, and you are actually flying the aircraft without any safe on at all. Therefore, the system is not trying to keep the airplane level. It is only dampening out wind and turbulence with AS3X. So just a little bit of difference there. So if you're wondering what mode is which, the number 2, which is the furthest up position on the transmitter here, that is in the safe off mode. The fully down mode is safe on beginner mode. And then of course your panic button over here, and it beeps when you hit it. So with the aircraft in this configuration right here, this is a fantastic time now that it's been powered up to go ahead and trim the aircraft out mechanically even before you even fly it. I can already see from looking at the aircraft that the rudder is just a little bit off-centered, so I'm going to want to bring that back in, and then I'm also going to check the elevator. Now when you check the elevator, it's important you do that when you're not in safe mode, because there is a little bit of elevator dialed in safe that you don't want to trim the airplane to a point where you actually trim that back out. So make sure you do your trimming here with the safe turned in the off position. And so from here I can see, yeah, it actually looks like the elevator is just a little bit tipped in the up position, but not really too bad. So it might need just a hair down on that, but the rudder needs just a little bit of adjustment. For that, there's these little U-shaped pieces of bends here in the wire. Kind of take a look at that. Here we go. Each one of the control surfaces has a U-shaped bend to it. You just take that, you either squeeze it if you want to draw the push rod in, or expand it out if you want to kind of draw the push rod to the opposite direction. So that's how you can mechanically trim the airplane before you even get it into the air. And I'll tell you what, if you mechanically trim the airplane so that all the surfaces are aligned before you go fly, you will save yourself a headache big time. Because if you have a surface that's way out of whack and you go fly the airplane, you're going to be fighting the airplane and trying to trim it out in the air, and you're going to have a very unpleasant experience. So take the time as soon as you get out of the box just to make sure that all the surfaces are lined up before you go fly. That way, if you do have to do any trimming, it tends to be pretty light. Just a couple of little bumps here or there, and you will be just fine. Otherwise, there's really not much else to do to the airplane to get it ready to fly. On something like this, center of gravity, yeah, it's important, but I wouldn't be terribly worried about it when you're talking about a UMX trainer like this. Put the battery all the way to the forward position and start there. That is going to give you a little bit of a forward bias, and you'll be just fine. If you do want to start getting into a little bit more aerobatic flying, then you're going to want to move the battery back a little bit, but can definitely start using the manual in terms of what the center of gravity is. If you watch the assembly or the unboxing video, we did not talk about the manual, but it is in the box just underneath the styrofoam. And it usually balances, let's see, I'm probably guessing about 2/3 just with my fingertips here, about 2/3 back on the cord, and once you know it, thing balances absolutely perfectly with my fingertips, so I'm going to call that one good. So we've done a little bit of a pre-flight check here. We've checked out the all the systems. We should know that all 4 control surfaces work. We've tried out the throttle. We've tested out AS3X once we get above 25% throttle. We've tested our buttons on safe, and we noticed we got to make a slight tweak to the rudder in terms of mechanically centering that. All the rest of the surfaces look good. So that's really all it takes to get this thing in the air. I mean, it is not, it's not much at all in order to go fly this airplane. So if you guys got any questions at all on the HobbyZone Sport Cub S2, by all means, just give me a, drop me a note below, and I'll be more than happy to help out. I have flown this airplane quite a bit, or at least the original one. It shouldn't be any different than this one here. So I got some experience with it. So I'm always happy to help out a new beginning pilot. And if you are interested in getting one of these planes and learning to fly, and you want to fly with an instructor who can really help stand next to you and kind of coach you, if you go to the Horizon Hobbies website, they have a whole section on an instructor program. You can look in your particular area and you can find one and go out and fly with an instructor, and that's a really fantastic way to learn. For our local club here, we actually have a Horizon instructor that is a club member, and so it's a fantastic way for him to help take his knowledge that he has learned and kind of pass that along to other pilots as well. And you can find that on Horizon Hobbies website under their instructor program. And the HobbyZone Sport Cub S2 is one of the aircraft that is part of that program that you can actually kind of use as a training tool to learn if you really want to get into this hobby or not. Because I'll tell you what, it starts with something as simple as this, and the next thing you know, you'll be adding EDF jets and all sorts of fun stuff on top of it. Because this is a fantastic hobby, and it's one that once you get started in it, you will love it for your entire life. And this is a fantastic way to get into that at a pretty reasonable price point. So, like I said before, if you've got any questions, leave them below. Don't forget to subscribe, because we always have more content coming.